Is your favorite NFL team overrated or underrated? It's time to find out in this little tier list that I have put together. I'm not going to waste any time doing an intro. Let's jump right into it. First off, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Ramily, where are you at? How are you feeling about the team? Rams fams? Rams fams? Oh, that's pretty good too. Okay, the Rams. I think they're underrated. Look, they're the second best team in the NFC, maybe third if you want to give it to the Lions, but the Lions crumbled in the playoffs. The Rams, I have full confidence in their ability to be a Super Bowl contender next year. Adding Devontae Adams to that offense is not fair. Their young defense is only going to get better. I love the moves they made this offseason. Hopefully they can go and trade for Jalen Ramsey as well, but that team is a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think people are ready for what the Rams are going to do next year. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. Look, the Browns, I think everyone's kind of projecting them to be around a 3, 4, 5 win team, maybe max, and I think that's completely fair. I think that's valid. The defense is very solid, could be a top 7-ish defense, but that offense, man, terrible wide receiver room, terrible running back room. Well, not terrible. Let me correct myself. They drafted Quinshon Judkins and Ollie Gordon, I believe, so the running back room could be good, but I just think they're properly rated. I think 5 wins should be their season next year, and I think that's fair. If they get up to 6, oh golly. Golly gall. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons fans, you guys have everything to be excited for next year. I think a lot of people see the Falcons as a playoff contender, as a team that should win the division next year, and I think that's completely fair. They should be about a 12-win team next year, especially after the draft with Jalon Walker and James Pierce Jr., but also their offseason was just good. It was good. Michael Penix Jr. is going to develop. Drake May is going to develop. Penix Jr. is going to develop. Drake May is going to develop. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers. If you're a Chargers fan, let me know. I want to know how many Chargers fans watch me, because I posted a TikTok and I got a lot of Chargers fans in my comments. I thought there were only like 5 of y'all. So Chargers fans, y'all got to be louder. Y'all got to be proud. You have a lot to be proud of with the Chargers. Justin Herbert, Mr. Hypothetical. I think that they are being so underrated. Why are we dismissing the Chargers? They had a fantastic season last year. They're only going to build off of that. Yes, they lost some players, but the offense got a lot better. They drafted a wide receiver, and I think they drafted a wide receiver, and I'm struggling to remember who it was, but I feel like I liked it, so I'm putting them in underrated. I can't remember exactly who it was, but shout out to the Chargers. Very underrated team. Another team that could end up second in their division. Wouldn't even be surprised next year if it was even maybe first in their division, to be honest. So shout out to the Chargers. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm doing a lot of yapping, so I'm sorry. The 49ers, I think they're being underrated as well. Look, I know I said the division maybe is easy, and maybe I underrate the 49ers, but they had an offseason last year. They do this every year. Every other year, they're really good. This year, they're going to be really good. Don't sleep on the 49ers. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers, I think they are being so overrated. Why are we talking about them like they can win the division? That roster is not ready. Bryce Young, I don't think, is going to be able to defeat the Buccaneers and Falcons, let alone the rest of their schedule. So the Panthers are definitely overrated, at least by their own fans. The Seattle Seahawks, I don't know where fans really feel or how they feel about the Seahawks. I feel like they're probably about a 10-win team again. I'm not sure that they really made that many improvements to the roster. I don't know if Sam Darnold's really an upgrade over Geno Smith. And the receiver room, in my opinion, got worse. But I imagine everyone's kind of in the same boat as me, so I'll say the Seahawks are properly rated. The Buffalo Bills are favored in every single game next year, meaning they are projected to be 17-0. They are overrated. Even if I think that they're a 13, 14-win team, that is overrated. 17 wins, no way. The Bills should not be favored in every game, especially not against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, I said what I said. There's plenty of games that I'm sure that they do not deserve to be favored in. The Bills, slightly overrated. Definitely good, but are they that good? I don't know. I don't know about all that. The Green Bay Packers, underrated, overrated, properly rated. I think the Packers are getting slept on a little bit. They had more of a down year last year than the year previously in the playoffs. Everyone was hype, and then this year they kind of fell flat. But I think that offense is going to be crazy with Matthew Golden. I think they also signed a safety in free agency, I believe, as well, or they signed a corner. And I just kind of like the moves that they've made. Packers are never really a team to make big moves, but they're being slept on heavily. Another team that could be a playoff contender being underrated. The New Orleans Saints, they are properly rated, baby. Nobody thinks they're going to be good, and I think that is completely fair. They are not underrated. Have no idea how Tyler Shoug's going to do as their quarterback one after Derek Carr retired. The Saints are just bad, probably in the worst situation in the entire NFL, but hey, they're in the Arch Manning sweepstakes, so we won't be saying that a year from now. As far as the Las Vegas Raiders go, overrated, properly rated, underrated, well, I think the Raiders are being underrated. The AFC West is back. It's the best division in football, in my opinion. Well, aside from the NFC North, the AFC West is the best division in football. The Raiders in any other division would be fully capable of winning 8, 9, 10 games, and I think they're being super underrated. The moves they made this offseason are win-now moves, and I love them. Jack Betch, Ashton Genty, Geno Smith, they made a lot of great moves. Pete Carroll, I love all the moves the Raiders are making. They are heavily underrated. If you think that's going to be a 4-win team next year, boy, are you in for a treat with the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to be great. Not great. Let me pump the brakes. They're going to be good. They're going to be tough to beat. Maybe 7 wins, but I'll chill out. As far as the Dallas Cowboys go, I think the Cowboys, I know I keep saying everybody's underrated, but the Cowboys are kind of underrated. I don't think a lot of people have much faith in them to make the playoffs next year. I think that they were bit by the injury bug a little bit last year. They improved the offense this season. Didn't really fill the running back hole. There's still plenty of free agents that they could go get, like J.K. Dobbins if they really want to, but I like the move with trading for George Pickens. The Cowboys are underrated. They're going to be a tough out for any team and can easily make it to the playoffs next year. The Chicago Bears. Well, look, I think they're properly rated right now. Every year they always do this. We always get so much hype for the Bears and they always fall flat. They always disappoint. So I want to put them in overrated, but I think they're going to be good. They should be a 10-win team on paper. They made great moves. Their offensive line is great, but Bears fans, why do you guys disappoint every year? What is going on? Why do the Bears do this? The Bears, the ketchup on the bun. Why do they do this? We need the Bears to be good. Oh, man, but yeah, I'd say properly rated. I think them being a borderline playoff team is fair and definitely a proper rating for them. The Indianapolis Colts, they're underrated. Talk about an underrated team. Oh my gosh, how can I have this many teams in underrated? I don't know, but the Colts are one of them. Why do we keep sleeping on the Colts when they consistently win 7 games and they're only going to keep getting better? Watch out for that defense next year with Charvarius Ward. I don't remember. I think they signed Cameron Bynum, but I could be wrong. Maybe they signed a different safety like Andre Sisco or something, but I love what the Colts have going on. If Anthony Richardson can develop at all, which he's only played like 23 games of football in his life as a starter, give him a break. Give him some time to develop. Super underrated. Oh my gosh, Colts fans, you guys should be happy. Miami Dolphins, properly rated. Who's talking about the Dolphins? Moving on. New England Patriots, I think that I'm a Patriots fan. We're overrated. We're overrated. Who is calling us a 10-win team? I don't know why people are calling us a 10-win team. The schedule is easy, yes. They did make improvements to that defense. That defense is going to be great next year. But the O-line still has question marks. Wide receiver room is still a big question mark. And if Travion Henderson is not good, that running back room is bottom 5 in the NFL. Ramondre Stevenson wasn't great last year. I love Mondre. I love him. But we need that O-line to step up. We need the wide receiver to step up. And I don't know how I feel about Stephon Diggs coming off that tear and him being the wide receiver one. Love Kyle Williams, though. He's going to be great. Moving on to the Detroit Lions. I think that they're properly rated. I think most people have them as a top 3 team in the NFC, maybe top 3 team in the NFL, and I think that's fair. You have all the reasons to believe that. That roster is fantastic. They just got injured last year, and that's really why they fell flat. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, they're properly rated. I don't think the Bengals are overrated. I don't think that they're underrated. The Bengals are a playoff team. If they don't make the playoffs, then, well, then they'd be overrated. Moving on to the Tennessee Titans. This is a team that nobody's really gassing up, which I think is fair. They're properly rated. This is going to be one of the worst teams next year. I don't think they have a bad roster. I actually think the defense is pretty good. I think that they should be like a 6-win team with the improvements they made, but the team just isn't great. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that their losses were pretty bad, but they are still a Super Bowl contender, and I think everyone believes that, so they are properly rated. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talk about a team that's getting hyped up like no other after adding Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., and Trevor Lawrence. Oh my goodness, wholly overrated. Wholly overrated right there. We don't even know if Travis Hunter can be an elite wide receiver yet. We've seen him run routes in training camp, and it has been egregious. I'm not going to hold too much stock in that, but let's pump the brakes a little bit on Travis Hunter. He hasn't played a snap yet, and that offense wasn't great last year. Defense wasn't great last year, and they didn't make enough improvements to really blow my mind. They are overrated. Moving on to the Denver Broncos. This is a team, unless you have them in your in a top, I don't know, 13-win group, then they are underrated. They should be a 13-win team. This defense is amazing. The offense is great. I am stuttering like a madman. The offense and defense are both well improved. They still could use another wide receiver in my opinion, but I think they addressed many of their needs. I like RJ Harvey. Jahdae Barron in the first round was great. I love what the Broncos did with they got Campbell. Or Dre Greenlaw, I'm sorry. They got Dre Greenlaw and Talona Ofunga. The Broncos are going to be elite next year. Watch out for them. The New York Giants, talk about an overrated mess right there. Overrated mess. Why are we talking about the Giants like they could be a playoff team next year? Yes, the roster is good. If you're saying the roster is bad, then yes, the Giants are underrated. But if you're saying the Giants are a playoff team, they are overrated. That schedule is very tough. Jackson Dart, why was he taken in the first round? Nobody knows. Russell Wilson, when was the last time he really played at a high level? Jameis Winston, come on. Come on, that quarterback room, if that's your quarterback room, you're not going to succeed. I'm sorry. The Minnesota Vikings, I think they're being underrated, man. I think they're being underrated. J.J. McCarthy's in probably the best system for any quarterback in the NFL with Kevin O'Connell and all the pieces around him. They are a legitimate threat in the NFC. Do I think they compete with the Eagles? No. But I think they can compete with almost every other team in that conference. Moving on to the Arizona Cardinals, I think people are giving them their flowers where it's due. The Cardinals are properly rated, in my opinion. They made some improvements. I like the moves they made on defense by adding Josh Sweat. They also drafted Walter Nolan. They made some good improvements on the defense and Will Johnson. The Cardinals definitely, you know what? They're underrated. They're underrated. Screw that. They're not properly rated. They are underrated. That team could be a sneaky 7 seed. So to me, they're underrated. I got a lot of underrated teams. Damn. The Baltimore Ravens, they're overrated. They're overrated. Look, they're a great regular season team. Sure. They're only going to get worse. Adding DeAndre Hopkins, laughable. Absolutely diabolical that that's their big free agency move. Shout out to the Ravens. I love Lamar Jackson, my favorite player in the NFL, but they're overrated. I'm sorry. The Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're being underrated. Why are we talking about them like they're not going to be back in the Super Bowl next year? Let's just be real with ourselves. Sure, you can say that they're coming down back to earth a little bit with the rest of the teams, but you can't. We haven't seen it yet. They lost to the Eagles, so what? Everybody lost to the Eagles. The Chiefs are being so underrated. They should be favored to be back in the Super Bowl. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, I want to say that they're being underrated so bad, but I think they're properly rated. I think everybody thinks they could make the playoffs, but wouldn't be surprised if they missed it due to the Falcons, and only one team from that division really probably will make it in the playoffs next year. But Buccaneers, properly rated. I loved their draft. I loved their free agency, but I think the Falcons just got that much better that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers they're properly rated. 8, 9 wins next year, I think, is in their wheelhouse. Moving on to the New York Jets. This is a team that is, in my opinion, underrated. No, properly rated. Quarterback situation's a mess. The defense is good, but is Justin Fields really going to produce for them? I think everybody has them as about a 6-win team, and I think maybe that's a little low. I think they could win 7, but yeah, 6 or 7 is really the Jets' wheelhouse, which is fair. I think most people are saying that. The Pittsburgh Steelers, well, nobody's really clowning on them, and nobody's really hyping them up, so they're properly rated. They shouldn't be put up here. They shouldn't be put down here. They're going to be fine. They're going to get their 9 wins. They're going to go 9-8. Mike Tomlin's going to get his positive record, and everybody's going to be happy. Moving on to the Washington Commanders, I think that they are slightly overrated. Look, this happened with the Texans last year. They fell off a little bit. Now that teams aren't going to be shocked by how good Jaden Daniels is, maybe they'll take them more seriously. I don't love their defense. I still think their secondary is a little bit weak. I think their run game is weak. Their wide receivers receiver room doesn't exactly impress me with Deebo Samuel. It's still better, but I think they are becoming a little overrated. I got both the Maryland teams in there. Moving on to the Houston Texans, our final team. Are they underrated, properly rated, or overrated? I think the Houston Texans are underrated, and they might be one of the top teams in that underrated tier. The defense is going to be top 5. The offense, even without Tank Dell, is going to be top 5. The Texans are going to be very good next year. That offensive line, yes, it scares me. I understand it should be scary for Texans fans. Houston, I know you guys are worried about CJ Stroud getting sacked 85 times, but I don't think you should be. He is a quick passer. He can get the ball out fast to Nico Collins, Christian Kirk. They drafted Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. That offense is going to be electric, and they sure as heck are making sure that that offense is going to be good next year. If you agree, if you disagree, it doesn't matter. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But what you're not entitled to is not liking this video. If you made it this far, hit a thumbs up for me. Let's get that algorithm cooking. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to see me do something similar, maybe with players, with quarterbacks, running backs, I'd love to do it. I love doing these tier lists. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.